Welcome to the CompTIA A+ 220 1101 or Core 1 exam. This is Objective 3.7, Laser Printers. One of the most popular printer types you'll find at home and in the office is a laser printer. A laser printer combines high voltages with powdered toner, heat, and pressure to create output on a printed page. This combines high quality output with very fast printing speeds, which is perfect for an office environment. So this is a relatively complex process with a lot of moving parts and a lot of things that could go wrong. That means as a technician, you'll need to be very familiar with the laser printing process. The image that ultimately prints on a sheet of paper starts with the imaging drum. This is the color photosensitive drum that's inside of a laser printer. The laser writes or paints exactly what it would like to have appear on that piece of paper. And this drum is responsible for taking that image and picking up the toner, transferring that toner to the paper where eventually it will be fused and presented as the final output. This imaging drum can be its own part inside of the printer. And if you need to replace the drum, you simply replace the single component. But sometimes this is integrated into your toner cartridge. And when you replace the toner cartridge, you're not only replacing the toner, but the imaging drum as well. In either case, this imaging drum is usually something that's easy to access. This allows you to examine, clean, and even replace the drum that might be in your printer. Once that toner is transferred from the imaging drum to the paper, it still needs to be permanently affixed to the page. We accomplish that with the fuser assembly. The fuser assembly uses heat and pressure to effectively melt the toner so that it is permanently part of the printed page. Normally, the colors inside of your printer will be cayenne, yellow, magenta, and a black color. These are usually installed into the laser printer as 4 separate cartridges. This not allows you to remove and replace cartridges as you use them, but you're also able to pull the exact amount of color from each individual cartridge. The color from each cartridge is transferred to the belt, and from the belt it's moved to a transfer roller. Here's a view of a belt. You can see it being installed, and you can also see the toner cartridges transferred above the belt. The pickup rollers work in conjunction with a separation pad to be able to pull just the top page off of that paper tray. The separation pad is also helpful to keep multiple pages from being sent through the printer all at one time. These are relatively inexpensive parts, and if you're performing maintenance on a laser printer, this is a very common part to replace. In this video, we're going to talk a lot about computer power. But before we do that, I want to make sure that you understand that if you're working inside of your computer, you should always disconnect the power source when you're working on that device. This is non-negotiable, and it is the best practice. If you hear someone else tell you that it's okay to plug everything in and start taking things apart, they are totally wrong. It's very dangerous to do that. Another challenge you might have is that some components will have capacitors that store power over time. So even when you're unplugged from a power source, those little devices could shock you still. You should always follow the manufacturer's instructions to ensure that all of the power in that device has been dissipated. You should also never connect any part of your body to any part of the electrical system. That includes the electrical ground. Do not connect yourself to any part of the electrical ground system. Electricity flows some very specific rules. And it doesn't care whether you're playing by the rules or not. If you happen to be in the way, then you could get hurt. You should always respect electricity, and it will respect you. This is the duplexing assembly that's on a paper tray on a laser printer. The method of flipping the paper over and using a duplex assembly is efficient. You can either print on one side of the paper or you can enable a duplex mode and it'll automatically flip the paper over and print on both sides. The entire printing process on a laser printer can be separated into 7 steps. Okay, here are the different steps for a laser print job. Let's start with the first step, which is the processing step. At this point, nothing is moving inside the printer. It's just receiving the print cue or the print job to be passed on. Okay, number 2, charging. The charging phase, a corona wire or a charge roller is used to provide a negative charge to the photosensitive drum. The negative charge effectively clears the drum and prepares it for the image. In the third phase, or the exposing phase, a laser begins writing the image to the photosensitive drum. Since the charging phase created a negative charge, the laser is creating a positive charge where everything it touches on that drum. Okay, next we have the developing phase, where you have toner that's in the toner cartridge that's also negatively charged, and the same as charged as the blank state that created during the charging phase. Okay, next is transferring. So transfer of the toner starts to the sensitive drum on the paper that's going through the printer itself. When that paper comes out of the other side of the transferring process, the toner was on the photosynthesis drum is now on the paper, which finishes the fusing step. And lastly, it always cleans itself. Okay, we're at the end of the objective. Here's a pop quiz. Which of the following statements are true about laser printers? A, they offer high quality printing. B, they are easy to repair. C, they are inexpensive. Or D, they run quite cool. And they do offer pretty high quality printing jobs and are a great option in terms of printing speed as well. But they do run to be expensive and they're hot, so A is the best choice here. Thanks for watching.